All right. Biden urges unity to stem racial hate after Buffalo shooting.
We're still gathering the facts.
My left ear loves this. Can we talk about this is the fucking White House. This is the United States government. And this is the quality of the video that we have for this. I'm sure there's a better quality version. But the idea that we don't have, some centralized quality control. This guy is the president. It's the year 2022. They only recorded the left channel. Why didn't they just make it mono so that it duplicates to both channels anyway?
Well, already the Justice Department has stated publicly that it is investigating the matter as a hate crime, racially motivated act of white supremacy and violent extremism. As they do, we must all work together to address the hate that remains a stain on the soul of America.
We must all work together. Put a pin in that.
The hearts are heavy once again, but a resolve must never ever waver.
Okay, so this doesn't mean anything. This guy's a fucking moron. He's a goddamn idiot. Okay? We must all work together? Okay, great. Let's start with you. You're the president of the United fucking States. And you are enabling a Republican Party that enables the great replacement conspiracy theory that brought about all these fucking mass shootings and all these fucking neo-Nazi organizations growing in the United States. You are the president. You're inviting these motherfuckers into the White House. Saying, let's work with the fascists. Let's work with the neo-Nazis. Now you're saying, oh, let's work with the neo-Nazis to stop neo-Nazism? What? What? We need unity. What does that mean? Unity with who? With who? Keep in mind, Joe Biden, right, he is now advocating to spend COVID relief surplus on more policing. So we already requested a 3x to the budget of policing. 3 times to just the budget. Now, he wants more money that was ostensibly for COVID relief as the 5th surge is here. Right, New York is getting fucking destroyed by COVID right now, but the CDC is covering it up. Have you read any articles about this? What's going on in New York? The only way I know about what's going on in New York is from talking to people that live in goddamn New York. Okay? But anyway, so the CDC is covering up the pandemic, right? What was my train of thought? What was I saying? I was saying something profound? Hold up. Covering up the pandemic. The only way I know about what's covering it up here. Right, New York is getting... It was ostensibly for COVID relief. Now... Oh, right, yeah. The militarized police. Okay, see, Anyway, I did not get much sleep last night. Anyway, so, okay, that's his form of unity, right? That's his form of unity. And the reason why I bring that up is because we know police are more likely, about 3.5 times as likely, to kill a black person than a white person. And now, again, the reason I say that is because this was a hateful terrorist attack against the black community, right? By a neo-Nazi. A neo-Nazi, which, by the way, in his manifesto, said, oh, I hope I don't have to hurt any cops. I think most cops are decent people. So the neo-Nazi supports the institution of policing. Right? This is like when Joe Biden... I want to play this clip here from Joe Biden. This is a clip from Joe Biden. I believe it was either November or December 2020. It was after Joe Biden won the election, the 2020 election. Again, Donald Trump lost the 2020 election. Joe Biden won the 2020 election. This is a clip of him talking to black activists that were asking for him to have more concrete promises on the police reform, such as the George Floyd Policing Act or whatever, that bullshit that they knew wouldn't pass, but they pretended it would for God knows how long. Anyway, let me play this clip, because this is the same this is the guy who wants the unity with the neo-Nazis. He doesn't want unity with black people who are constantly targeted by neo-Nazis. Fuck the black people. That's what Joe Biden wants to say. And this is him talking to those very same activists.
I've got to go. Let me respond. There's a lot to respond to here. Let's get something straight. You shouldn't be disappointed. What I've done so far is more than anybody else has done this far. Okay?
Now keep in mind, so far, what does that mean? Like this clip that I'm playing, this audio, is from before he became the president. It was after winning the election and before the inauguration. So what he has done so far is nothing.
Number one. Number two, I mean what I say when I say it. I mean what I say when I say it.
So that's him, right? Literally screaming and clapping at black activists who asked, like, hey, can you give us some more concrete deadlines and, like, some timelines or whatever on how this George Floyd Police Reform Act is going to pass? That's him screaming at them saying, right? So again, when it comes to neo-Nazis, unity. We need unity. We need unity. We need unity with the neo-Nazis. When it comes to black people, come on! I mean what I say when I say it, Jack! What? Like, this guy is fucking insane. This is insane. Does anyone remember the 2020 election? I feel like that was years ago. I mean, it was like literally over 1 year ago, so technically in the literal sense, but I feel like it was decades ago. Does anyone remember when Georgia, not only did Georgia have Biden win the state for the presidency, but 3 months later, Georgia, the state of Georgia, elected 2 Democratic senators. Does anyone remember that? Can someone remind me of what the population demographics are in Georgia and what demographic pushed the Democrats over the line in Georgia to have a 50-50 Senate? Right? Can someone remind me? Right? And again, that clip I played is Joe Biden talking to activists, right? Black activists that helped him win the state of Georgia. Right? He's yelling at them when they ask for anything, right? And again, now that he's been president, he's like 3x police funding, and now he's trying to get COVID surplus. Instead of going for COVID relief, instead of paying for more booster shots, masks, universal masks sent to every person in the mailbox, right? That was literally, the USPS had the masks. They were ready to ship in April of 2020. Donald Trump was like, nah, we don't want to create a panic. They had the masks. They were ready to ship. And Joe Biden, is he going to use the surplus for that? No. He's going to put the surplus into more policing. Right? And then when neo-Nazis endorse the police and then go to do their extrajudicial lynch terrorist attacks, right? Going into fucking black communities and murdering people because they are black. Now we need unity with the neo-Nazis all of a sudden. Like, that's the thing that's crazy about these fucking motherfuckers. Right? When oppressed people are like, can we have equal rights? Maybe just a little bit. Like, oppressed people, like black people asking for police reform is not even asking for equal rights. That's asking, like, can we go from being treated like fucking trash to being treated like a garbage can with a lid on? Right? It's a mild milquetoast reform that would, like, push the ball forward a little bit. Right? Like, that's the thing that's crazy about this, right? Like, police reform activists that Joe Biden is in talks with, right, in that clip, and, like, has been, right? They don't want to abolish the police. They don't want to, like, restart the policing program. They don't want, like, they literally just want mild reforms, like banning chokeholds or other kinds of things, right? And that's too much for Joe Biden. That's too much. So the people that aren't even asking for equal treatment, when you really think about it, that's too much. That's, far left. But the neo-Nazis who go out there and murder black people for sport and entertainment, we need unity. Unity. I need the unity with the neo-Nazis. They're my best friends. It's insane. These motherfuckers are insane. This is insane. This is like, we need unity. This is like motherfucking Donald Trump saying there's very fine people on both sides. There's very fine people on both sides. That's like this. This is Joe Biden's version of very fine people on both sides. But is there going to be a media circus about that? Is Joe Biden gonna have to answer questions for the next 10 years of the rest of his presidency and the rest of his life? Is he gonna have to answer questions on why he wanted unity with neo-Nazis after a terrorist attack on the black community? Is he gonna have to? No, because the media doesn't give a fuck. They don't give a shit. They don't care. They don't fucking care. We need unity. That fucking shit is crazy. That fucking shit is crazy. This is crazy. These are the leaders of our fucking country. This shit is crazy, man. Like, I'm telling you, like, this is this is insane. This is insane. I cannot stress enough just how insane this fucking shit is. Let's read more of this expanded quote. We must all work together to address the hate that remains a stain on the soul of America. Biden said the 41st Annual National Peace of Officers Memorial. Our hearts are heavy once again, but the resolve must never ever waver. What resolve? What is the resolve? What is this guy talking about? No one understands this more than the people sitting in front of me. He added, the White House said that Biden's would travel to Buffalo on Tuesday to grieve with the community. Oh, God. And today's Tuesday. Oh, God. This reminds me. Let me tell a story. I want to tell a story. This is just a personal story. Well, I mean, it's not really, I guess it's not technically personal, but, well, I mean, you know. So, last year, when I was participating in a protest movement in Elizabeth City, North Carolina, over the police murder of Andrew Brown Jr., the governor of North Carolina, Roy Cooper, Democratic governor, came to Elizabeth City to meet with the protesting community in regards to how to better keep our community safe. Now, this is, I think it was 2 days after, it was the week of, I remember, the sheriff's department doxing protesters, just releasing addresses of protesters on Facebook. It was, I think it was I don't know, 12 or something protesters, just addresses, names, full names and addresses on Facebook. That's what the police did. Right, so Roy Cooper, the governor of a Democratic governor, again, this is a theme with Democratic politicians, he came and met with us and asked for us to tell him our concerns and request for him to do something about it. Did Roy Cooper do anything? I want you to guess. Did he do anything? Nope. Actually, wait, let me take that back. He did do something. He promoted the police chief of Elizabeth City, the guy who was in charge of the police in that city, right? The police that beat the shit out of several protesters, that arrested journalists, right? That pointed guns at people, threatened to arrest and beat down journalists, right? Attack actual people, old people, religious leaders, just attack them, beat them, right? Tasing them, pointing guns at people. He promoted the police chief to the public defense secretary of North Carolina. That was the only thing he did. Roy Cooper did nothing else. So he went, right? Now, again, I'm a white person, right? So, but most of the protesters, right, in Elizabeth City were black. Elizabeth City, North Carolina is a heavily black community. And so he looked all of the black protesters in the eyes and said he was going to do everything he could to help people in Elizabeth City. He promoted the guy in charge of all the abuse and torture and then fucked off. He did nothing. So that is the story I want to tell you in the context of Joe Biden going to Buffalo to grieve with the community. Oh, he's going to grieve. Oh! Yeah, he's going to grieve. He's going to fucking grieve, I'm sure. But is he going to do anything? No. Is he going to even advocate to do anything? No. Joe Biden could, he knows that the Senate would never pass any of this. He could go out there and say, we need to pass the George Floyd fucking policing act. What we need to do is we need to really look at how neo-Nazis are being trained. We need to, like, he could call out the Republican Party. He could call out Tucker Carlson by name on his Resolute desk. He can do daily addresses saying these fucking Republicans are fomenting domestic terror in this fucking country. And here's a list of all the things that are happening as to why that this is happening. Right? He could do that. He knows none of it would pass, but he could at least say stuff like that. But he's not even, because he doesn't care. He doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't fucking care at all. He doesn't fucking care at all. He doesn't fucking, not even 1% of his being gives a fucking shit. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said tighter gun measures are a huge priority for Democrats in the White House. Yeah, that's not, for one, that's not going to happen. Two, that's not going to solve neo-Nazi attacks. Like, okay, I really, okay. So we're going to control the guns a little bit, right? Because, you know, like, whatever would pass with the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution, whatever gun control legislation Democrats would come up with that would actually pass, none of it's going to pass, right, because of the filibuster. But let's imagine a world, right, where they, all of a sudden, everyone was like, all right, let's get rid of the filibuster. Do you really think they're going to do anything that's actually going to stop domestic terror attacks from neo-Nazis? Does anyone think that they're going to be able to control guns so much that right-wingers and neo-Nazis aren't going to be able to get a hold of them and massacre people? How would they do that? They would have to, like, go into everyone's houses, right, and take all their guns. They would have to, like, you know, violate every other constitutional amendment to take everyone's guns away, right? And then have, like, I don't know, like, gun scanners that, like, float from the sky, like drones that float from the sky to scan for guns with x-ray vision or something. There's no way that they would be able to actually adequately do that in a point where neo-Nazis wouldn't be able to get a hold on firearms. I'm just saying. I'm just being honest with you. There's gun control legislation. While it would be nice, right? It's not. That's not the only thing we need. We need to, like, we don't need unity with the neo-Nazis. Like, again, 14th Amendment, Section 3. The neo-Nazis literally tried to destroy the United States government on January 6, 2021. They literally stormed the Capitol building and tried to destroy the U.S. government and install a dictator as the president. Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden, literally, they violated the 14th Amendment, Section 3, that says they are banned. They are banned from holding office because they, quote, gave aid and comfort to those engaging in an insurrection. The entire Republican Party. They both gave aid and comfort to those that were engaging in an insurrection. Cori Bush actually proposed that we ban these motherfuckers. I think it, like, her bill to invoke the 14th Amendment, Section 3 got like 40-something co-sponsors, I think. Nancy Pelosi said, no, we need unity. We need unity? Joe Biden was like, we need unity, we must come together, unity. Well, how's that fucking unity going? This isn't about fucking guns. Are guns a factor? Yes. But this is not a fucking story about fucking guns. A story about guns, right, is the daily fucking shootings that happen in this country. If you want to talk about gun control, then that's where we bring up stuff like what's going on in Chicago. Conservatives love to talk about Chicago for whatever reason, like as if like that's the only city in the world that has gun violence. But anyway, like, this is not just a story about guns. This is a story about domestic terrorism and how the United States government and those in power enable and produce, not just enable, but they move the ball forward. Like, it's like enable implies that they're just staying out of it. Like, they could move the ball backward if they want, but they're just staying out of it. But they are actively moving the ball forward along. So they are not only enabling, but they are producing these domestic terrorists. Right? That's what this story is about. If you want to talk about gun violence and gun control, great. Let's talk about the crime wave if you want. But that's not what this is. This is a domestic terror attack on the black community. That's it. We don't need unity with the neo-Nazis, Joe Biden. I'm sorry. That's fucking crazy.